How's it going, YouTube? I apologize for the setup right now. We're working on a upscaling solutions video. I got a bunch of different retro consoles here. We're working on upscaling them through several devices. I got a Atari sitting here with everyone's favorite game in it. But we're not talking about that today. Right now we're talking about the new Final Fantasy VII Remake trailer that just dropped for TGS 2019. And I'm not going to make like a big video going through every little thing on it because it's not like super revolutionary, but there's a couple things we have to talk about. So first of all, one of my biggest questions when it came to the remake was how they were going to do the summons, because they released the Choco Chick, the Cactuar as part of the pre-order, and then they have Carbuncle if you pay $7 million for it, or if you get the digital version. So it sounded like they were going to do a bunch of like meme summons and then have the real summons be later on in the series where they're supposed to be. But now we have, for sure, Ifrit and Shiva in the remake, the first episode. So that's big. That means that they are taking the summons from later in the game, putting them in Midgar. So that gives us some kind of clue as to how they're going to do this thing. It gives us a clue as to maybe they're not going to be wiping our stuff when we finish the first game. It seems like they actually want to give us like Shiva, Ifrit, you know, maybe Choco Mog or something, or just maybe Choco Chick is Choco Mog. And then in part 2, they'll give us like Ramu and maybe Bahamut and like, you know, other stuff. So it's looking like that kind of gives us a clue as to maybe they're not wiping our stuff at the end of every single episode. Maybe this is like we get to the end of Midgar at level 40 and then the next game starts at level 40. That was one of the biggest things we've been talking about for the last couple weeks. Like, what are they going to do with the second game? And Square Enix also said at one of their interviews that like they didn't know themselves what they were going to do with the second game. So it looks like they have maybe a better idea now, that they're going to give us some of the early summons, but then keep some of the other stuff for later. We don't know that for sure, but seeing as though we saw Ifrit and Shiva, and we also already have 3 other summons lined up, that's the idea we're getting. They also showed a lot more liberties. They already did in the first trailer, but now they're really starting to show like, hey, we're doing all this new stuff. We got a rude battle now. There's a part where like Cloud, Tifa, and Aeris are like standing there holding arms, which never happens because by the time you find Tifa, you're already in your outfits. So that's completely new, unless that was in the graveyard, but I don't think it was. There was a ton of stuff. Like you could just name like a bunch of stuff that was like, whoa, that's completely new. You fight Reno in the church now. Which that's not really new, because you do like have a confrontation with him, you just don't technically fight. So that I don't really call that taking liberties, but there was a lot of other stuff. There was a bunch of motorcycle stuff, which is all completely new. So they're showing more and more that the remake's going to be really different, which is okay. Not a bad thing at all. It might be bad for some people if they wanted more of a one-to-one remake, but I think most of us are kind of on the train now that we just want it to be a fun game, and they're doing their best to add stuff that's fun. You know, a Reno fight, although it wasn't in the original game, it sounds fun. So they're showing that like, hey, we're doing some different stuff. We also got Don Corneo. We got to look at Don Corneo. He looks as creepy as I expected. So that's cool. That's also kind of showing us that, yes, Wall Market's happening in some way, shape, or form. We didn't see Cloud dressing up or anything. We did see Aeris dressing up, so that scene is happening. We just don't know how Cloud is involved yet. But it definitely seems like they're going down the path of, yes, Cloud's going to be cross-dressing, and that whole scene's going to play out as normal. I mean, I don't want to get all into it, but basically, like, people were worried that the cross-dressing wasn't going to happen, and for me, I don't really care as much about that, but it's a really important part of the story, and a really big part of Cloud's, like, it's a very big theme. A lot of people don't look at it that way. They look at it as like a joke. But the cross-dressing scene is a really big theme because Cloud, at the time, doesn't know who he is. And he's still fighting with Zack Cloud rather than Cloud. And so the dress-up scene, like, pushes home the point that Cloud isn't Cloud. And he's not even Zack either. He's, like, in a mix between. And then, like, the cross-dressing theme just gives it even more punch of, like, Cloud has no idea who he is or, you know, what he wants to do. So it's important to the story. So I always thought it'd be really cool if they added it and they didn't take it out. And it's looking like that's the path they're going. So that's really cool. There was the final shot, if I can pull it up. The final shot, I'm going to be honest with you, I don't really know, just looking at this, what it is. What are they looking at here? Is this them on the bridge outside of Midgar? Or is that destroyed Sector 5 or 7? That's got to be Sector 7, right? But that looks so weird. Like, I don't know, something about it, those big towers. I suppose they're looking from inside out. Okay, yeah, I see it now. Because, like, I can see that's, like, the broken... Okay, I see it now. I only watched the trailer once, and I looked at that, and I was like, is that the destroyed sector? Because that looks weird. So, this kind of makes me sad a little bit, because if this is the scene right when they leave, then that means we don't get the cool scene in the playground where Barrett shoots the wall, which is one of the scenes I was looking forward to the most. But this could also be in the future. This could be like the sector gets destroyed, they have the playground scene, and then they climb up to get to Shinra HQ, and then this is like them looking at it before they go into the HQ. So this doesn't necessarily mean that scene is gone. But yeah, this is a cool picture. It's cool. I want to see like how they expand on this. So that's cool. Did I miss anything in particular? There were the summons. Don Corneo. Oh, there was a fight with Rude, which is cool. That obviously never happens, but that's a great addition, I think. That's a cool thing. Just a lot of like motorcycle stuff. A lot more with Avalanche, which is cool. They're giving Avalanche more of like a look to them. They showed Sung, and he looks just like I would expect him to. He looks good. There's this big like cannon thing that shoots. Oh, the president. President Shinra is a hologram for some reason. That's kind of weird. I don't know. Like, I get why they did it, because maybe they didn't want to make the president yet, because he's not a big character yet. Although he is, though. We only see him in Midgar and then he's gone. So maybe they just didn't want to. Maybe later they don't show him and he's just dead. Or maybe they thought the helicopter scene would be too weird. I don't know, but for some reason he's a hologram now. Maybe they just thought that makes more sense than him physically being there. I always thought it was cool that he was there, because it shows how much balls he has, you know? Like, they knew that Avalanche was going to attack that reactor. They knew from the inside, like, they're going to be there. That's why they set up the trap. But President Shinra was still there to physically talk to them. So I always thought that was cool. Like, it shows how, like, you know, ballsy he is and how much gusto he has just to be like, yeah, you guys are screwed. Play with my pet, you know, and sends an airbuster. So I always thought that was cool. But, I mean, him being a hologram is fine. It's not like a big deal or anything. I just kind of an interesting change they made. And I think that's it. The only other thing is the most important thing, saving it for last, literally changes the whole game, changes the whole remake. Nothing about the remake will ever be the same again, because now we got squats. He squats. We've seen it. It's a mini game. He does it. He does the squats. We got squat action. The squats are happening. It's in the game. They can't take it out now. They can't take it out. They showed us. That means it's got to be there. Hopefully we win a wig. I don't know. But the squats are happening. So that's it, man. We got Corneo, we got the president, we got Sung, and we got squats. And we got summons. Awesome. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Leave a comment what you think about the remake in general and what you think about this trailer. And if I get enough comments, I will make another video like I did before where I read through comments and we talk about it more, because that video was really fun to make and everyone really enjoyed it. So leave a comment what you think about the trailer and what you think about the remake, and I'll make a video talking about those comments, and we'll keep the discussion going about the Final Fantasy VII Remake. Thank you guys. I love you. Peace out.